Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for hanging out with me for this December daily video. If you'd like to see what I'm going to do, stick around. Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for this video. Today I am sharing my day one of December daily. So I'm really excited to jump into this project. I've been waiting to find some time. So last year and the year before, I think I was pretty diligent about making sure I had lots of videos, and most of it was done by mid-January. However, this year with my busier schedule, that's not going to happen. So I'll just post them as often as I can. That being said, I do have this calendar that I'm referencing as a way to sort of plan or pre-plan my days, and I just use an erasable pen for that. And I've already gone ahead and filled in the days on with events that I know are happening, and then I've kind of plugged in other things that don't necessarily happen on that day in December that I want to document throughout the month. So for story number one, I'm going to be documenting my reason why. And I already kind of was playing around with the idea. So I'm going to use this. I wanted to use this in the front, this die cut word phrase that says December Daily 2024. And then I trimmed down a piece of transparency. This is just like, you can get this at Joann, and it's by American Crafts. And I just trimmed this down to the outside the page protector size for my 6x8 album, which is, I think, 7x8 1/4. The album I'm using, in case you missed it, is this Green Trees one, and I use 2 of these. And I've already gone ahead and done my table of contents. So this big pleather sticker was in the advent calendar kit. And then I trimmed down this paper, and originally I wanted this to be over here and be part of my first story, but I realized after I constructed it that it opened both ways and it couldn't fully open because of the rings. So I moved it to the inside cover, and I used this gold braid trim, also pleather, and then added a little bit of sequin fun. And then it's velcroed down, and I used the Memories paper and this green diagonal stripe, which I think is from last year's kit, and then all of these numbers. And then I used a really thin gold thread to act like it's, you know, like a garland of some sort, because I do go up to 31 days or stories. And then I used all of these vellum lights, which I wish we had so many more of these, because these are one of my favorite embellishments this year. So this is my table of contents that I just will handwrite in. And so number one obviously is the one we're working on today, which is my reason why. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is have this be in here. And I think it's lovely because it ties in the red and the green and everything. And I'm going to put, my reason why is very small. And by the way, I also, sorry, I just dropped my ruler. I have this little craft notebook. I don't even know where I got it. And I just decided to use it for plans and ideas. And so for my reason why, I decided to do something like this. And it's very simple: to experience joy and practice self-care, to reclaim my story while documenting all of our magical and mundane moments, and because it's fun. And so what I think I'm going to do is just, with those 3 little things, I made this mock pocket to kind of see if it would fit here, and tuck my reason why right in there and put my number here, and then embellish it with some trim. So what I'm going to do is speed up the camera. Hopefully this is a fairly quick video. I could type up my reason why. I like to handwrite in my scrapbook projects, but that's just a personal preference. Most people prefer to type, and I think if it's a lot of words and you have a small space, that makes sense. But I'm not very technologically literate, so I just prefer to use my good old handwriting. So I'm going to speed up the camera and get started on the process. So let's go, let's go. Hey friends, so the first thing I'm doing is opening up my We Are Memory Keepers pocket punch board that I'm using to make my pocket. I selected the green print snowflake paper. I'm not sure if it's from the main kit or if it's in the add-on paper pack. And I forgot to reference the guide that comes with the envelope that tells me what size to trim my paper down for the size pocket that I want. So I knew I wanted a pocket that would be there's the reference, that was 2.25 by 3 inches, which meant I needed to trim down or have a piece of paper that was 3 by 5.5, I think it was. And then you just put it in like this, and it's already pre-scored. So where it lays, you score 3 flaps. You flip it up over, score the other side, and then you just tuck in all of the flaps, and you can adhere the 3 sides, and you can leave it as is. For me, I wanted to put a little notch in the top of the pocket so that it indicates to whoever's looking at the album to pull out what's inside. So you just line it up based on your sized pocket using the guide that I'm putting away right now, and it gets stored right underneath. It's super handy. I never really use this tool, but it is an amazing one. I'm pretty sure I got it on like clearance before, a few years ago. So I'm measuring it down, and now I want to select, trying to figure out what I want to put inside of the envelope now that I have that made. So I'm looking at some of the cards I have in my stash that are all ready to go from Ali Edwards, but they were a little bit too small. These are old from Heidi Swapp, like 2 years ago. The colors are perfect, so I'm going to use this green one, and it's even scalloped at the top, so it totally matches one of the motifs for this season. I do end up trimming down the envelope because I want to be able to see the entire green top of that tag. And then I'm going to use just some of this baker's twine trim that's in my stash. I think I got it off of gift wrap or like pajamas or something last year. I save all of the things. So I decide to tie on that ribbon and then use that to write my reason why on, just like I said in the intro. And the little container that all those bits and bobs, or I should say like odds and ends of ribbon trim are, it's just from the Dollar Tree. Nothing too fancy, gets the job done. So yeah, this is where I'm going to trim it down, re-punch the center hole there so that it has the notch. And I didn't really think through too much how I was going to adhere the die cut to the transparency. So while I take my red line tape and use that to make sure it's secure, I should have added it on other parts of the backing, and I didn't, so I'll do that later on. I just decided to go back and add a few pieces of red line tape in some other spots so that it's a little bit more secure. Once that's done, I can make sure it's lined up with the edge, and then I'm going to get my We Are Makers Crocodile punch. It's at the 3/16 of an inch, I believe. I don't know what that is. 3/16 of a something. What's the unit of measure? To punch out the holes. And then I'm going to figure out what I want to do for the front of this tag. I know I wanted to put the number on, but I'm going to audition a lot of different numbers and embellishments for the front, because I didn't want it just to have the pocket. I realized I wanted to add some stars. So you're gonna see me sit here and just go play around with different stars that I have in my stash, like these vellum stars from Ali Edwards. I think they're from last year's maybe December Story by the Month kit. I can't even remember, but I saved a bunch of them. The colors are also perfect for this year. So I was going to use those, but then I felt like they kind of got lost and competed too much with everything else that's going on. So I'm going to scrap those. Then I'm going to pull out, it's like Goldilocks with embellishments. And that's kind of, it maybe is annoying for you to watch. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. But for me, that's like most of, or part of the fun of creating these pages, is being nitpicky over the little finishing touches and the little embellishments that you get to choose. Because once you have your page sort of like orchestrated and thought out and engineered, if you will, and how it's going to work, especially if it's like something that's interactive, the embellishing is just so much fun. It's like the icing on the cake. So then I play around with the idea of using these wood veneer stars that I bought, and I thought, oh, maybe I could like paint some to match the greens a little bit better. And then I was like, I really don't have the time. Like, I'm way behind. Normally at this time of year, I've got at least 5 or 6 or 7 even foundation pages started, and I don't have any. And it is it's okay because we've been going through quite a bit here in my household with a cat saga situation. And if you want to hear more about that, then you'll have to check out my Plan With Me videos, because I talk a lot more about that in those. But, and also in my Project Life videos. So anyhow, just to spare you the details, life has just been really busy. So I'm like, I don't have time to get nitpicky with these stars and things. Let me find something that's already ready to go. So I scrapped the idea of the wood veneer stars, and finally I go, wait a minute. I have those gold sparkly stars that came in the main kit, and I think they would be perfect because then they coordinate with the gold stars on the transparency, and then it brings the star theme, you know, kind of full circle. So I'm going to figure out where I want to put the stars, and then I'm going to use my Zig two-way glue dot marker to adhere the stars on top of the die cut and on top of the pocket. As you can see, I'm now auditioning out some numbers. I knew I would want the white on top of the gold. So I have those two different ones to choose from. Both are from this year. One is from the main kit, I think, and the other one is from the advent calendar. I open it at the beginning of the year, so I'm sorry if there are any spoilers as you watch my December daily videos. Then I decide I'm going to work on the tag. I think I have everything on the outside complete. I knew I wanted to stamp my Y, and I was just trying to figure out which red to use. I had swatched all these different inks at the beginning of the year to try to figure out, that's what I did during prep day, to figure out which colors would work for the album this year based off of the main kit. I'm going to use my Citrus Twist alphabet stamp, the Sophie, I believe it's called. It has two of the same font but just different sizes with numbers as well. They're all uppercase, and I really like these because they're very tiny. So I was deciding whether or not I wanted to use the Distress Oxide or the Archival ink. They're both by Ranger. They just have two different kind of effects and work. They're made with different ingredients, so they work differently if you want to get fancy and use them with other media and things like that. But I'm just going to stamp them on cardstock, so it really doesn't matter. For me, it's a personal preference. And for whatever reason, I decided to go with the Archival ink that they're both in the same color, called Barn Door. It's sort of a reddish orange shade, and I think it matches the top part of that die cut December Daily, where it says December Daily. And then I am going to take a tiny star off of, once I stamp the 1, 2, 3, off of a different stamp set to act as sort of the period punctuation point. And then I write my Y, which are the 3 reasons I had already shared at the beginning. Just because this is something that brings me joy, and it is very much a practice of self-care for me to be able to have the privilege of doing this project. And also because as someone who is relinquished and does not know my family history or story of origin or the reason why I was given up for adoption, I think storytelling is just that much more important and special to me because it is a way of reclaiming my story while also capturing memories and recording them for Nora and then her children and children's children and all of that good stuff. So it's a very, very important piece of who I am, and serves a greater purpose than just playing with products, which, if that's your reason why, good for you, totally fine. I just happen to have a much deeper reason. We got deep there. Then I decided on the bottom, and then the third reason was just because, duh, it's fun. I wanted to just put a little something, so I added a tiny bit of the washi tape on the bottom. I just love washi tape. I have an obscene amount of it and have no right to buy any more, but I keep doing it, so yeah. Anyway, we're not judging. That is pretty much going to wrap this up, I think. I'm going to slide the pocket in there. I'm going to add some adhesive, more red line tape to the back of the pocket. And here's where I'm like, I probably should have added some more red line tape in other places, genius. But I was just so excited to get started on filming this video. I just didn't even think about that, which is kind of funny. And then I thought I was all done, and I forgot I wanted to add some trim on the right side of this paper. or this transparency. So I'm gonna pull out my Gold Star trim. I love this trim from May Arts. They have a lot of really gorgeous ribbon and trims. So I'm going to trim the trim. Wow. I'm going to cut down the trim. I mean, trim the trim works, but that's just so corny. And adhere it with red line tape. And then that will complete this story number 1 for 2024. I'm so excited to finally have one story under my belt. Wow, it feels so good. I have been very impatiently waiting to work on this project. It's my favorite community scrapbook project that I do all year. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. I would love feedback. Let me know your thoughts. If you decide to do something that's kind of loosely based off of my video, or my video inspired you for some reason, feel free to tag me over on your social media platform. I'd love to see what you create. I get so many ideas off of so many of you, so thank you for sharing your creations as well. Here's how it looks in the album. Here is a close-up of the tag in real time. I am in love with the way it turned out. I couldn't be happier. Again, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe if you're not. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends, and remember that you are enough. Bye.